Well, hey there, my friends. Welcome to my channel, Ink and Whimsy. I'm Laura Daniels, and I'm excited for this time we get to spend together today. We're going to be using the April Hit Kit Club called A Touch of Whimsy, and I have the main kit, which also includes some awesome ephemera packs. We are going to be designing from this awesome sketch flyer that you receive with each kit. In a previous video, I did this single page layout. It's awesome when you can use these as a jumping off spot. Here, I did a double page layout and I totally changed it around, but that'll be in another video. And look at the next one. This is the one we're going to do today. And it's called Oh Honey, and it has almost like these different shelves, and you're going to be decorating the shelves and putting 3 different photos. And the photos I have found to use, I am so excited to share those with you. So I'm going to move this aside, and I'm going to show you what we're going to be working with. Not much. We're going to use this single page, and we're going to use these for the shelves. I did a few things differently with the green. Excuse me, it was a full strip and these varied right here. Like one of them had the scallops here and then others had different designs. So I used them differently. Gosh, words. All right, so these are the photos of my daughter that I want to share with you. Look at her, she's just cute as a little button. So here's my journaling. This is Lauren Ashley. And here she is. You know how it is. Like, Lauren Ashley, what are you doing? And she turns around and looks at me. I'm just pulling on the curtains, Mommy. And then here she is being silly, upside down. So I thought, oh my gosh. And I've always wanted to scrapbook these photos, but I couldn't think of how to do it. So those are the photos we're using. These are from Stampin' Up. And what are these? The in color dots from Stampin' Up. And I have the trays based on the shelves that we're going to be decorating. So there is one of our shelves. This is, see, I was telling you how I differed these up. When you look at the full sheet of paper, you're going to see that there are different rows because even this one is different, right? But I want to keep them separated here so we don't mess it up. And then I have our title. So this is what we're going to be working with. And I also wanted to show you that there was a piece of cardstock with the lines, the pink. Let's see, it's this one right here. This was the piece of cardstock, and I just cut it close on either side so that I could then just glue it to the back of this. So I've basically created 2 different shelves to set my different pieces of ephemera and onyx. So some of them will be at the top of the green and some of them will be at the top of the pink. And I've already put this together so that I can begin assembling the page for all of you. And then this is the piece of cardstock that has all of these different pieces of green. And then here you can see this is our background. And when you're looking at it, you can see it just has a lot to do with sewing and being creative with paper, with pen for if you want to do some faux stitching, which I tend to do, don't I? That is something I definitely tend to do. All right, so let's lay these down. And we're going to do them one shelf at a time. And you'll see how it all comes together. We're going to put this at about the 2-inch mark going across. And I think I want to do... I want to go around my journaling for one thing. So let's do that. And this is using the Pumice Stone Distressed Oxide by Ranger. I'm just going to go gently around the edge here. You know, one of my favorite things to do is to take the time to write the story. Like, what is the story I'm trying to tell about these photos? That I'm creating a book, and it's just not a photo album, it's a storybook. So when I go back and I read it, I have the year, I have my thoughts, and I have who was in the photo. All right, so this is going to go about right here. And then we're going to put down this cute little photo because I'm kind of arranging them in a way that I catch her looking at the photo, touching the curtains. Then up here, she's looking back at me. Then she goes, oh, Mom, I'm just being silly. Kind of like that. So your eye is going to go up and around with the different shelves. So we're going to put this shelf together right here. And you know what I'm thinking would look so neat is if I put these photos on some of that dimension, this foam dimension tape. So I'm going to put this on the back of all photos and I'll be right back. Before I go any further, I thought, well, gosh, I need to show this because it is a fun tip. When you're using a big piece of foam adhesive like this, and you're wondering, well, how do I cut it exactly? Well, what you don't want to do is cut it exactly, because then, you know, you may try to place it on the back of your photo and it's a little off. I always go a little bit short of it. So here you can see the photo's off the edge here and it's off the edge here. And if you're just holding it like this, okay, and then I'm coming up, when I have it all cut out, and this does not need to be perfect because no one's ever going to see it. It's on the back of your photo, right? Then all you do is when you flip it over, see how I have that nice edge around it? I don't have to worry about perfectly getting it on the back of the photo. All right, so this is the first one. She looks so cute. Babies are just so adorable, aren't they? All right, so we're going to peel this off, stick it on. Easy peasy. And again, I'm not standing right over it, so it's kind of hard to see. Oh my gosh, let me move it down here. Y'all just bear with me. There we go. All right, so this side still has the tape on it, right? Now, I haven't decided exactly where all the ephemera goes, so I'm not going to stick this down yet. And we're just going to start putting together our page right here. Now these, we're going to do this little cluster here. All right, so we got a lot of stuff here. First thing we're going to do is stick down our little mice here. And I want to add some dimension above the top where the mouse's head is. And since it's going to go over the top of the photo, this part right here, I'm just going to do this side. We're going to stick some of these on here. And then they can go all along here, can't they? All right, so let's peel these off. And as I'm putting this all together, I just wanted to share with you, if you find this layout, my videos inspiring, please give it a thumbs up. This is what lets YouTube know that people are watching my channel. When they know people are watching my channel, they're more apt to actually share my channel. And anyone who's a YouTuber knows that it is hard to get your channel shared. You know, I'm working so hard at this, and yet I hardly have any views. So you just by doing that little thumbs up, it helps me to go a long way in just getting noticed. And I appreciate you. So I would definitely appreciate that on your end. And if you don't want to miss a future video, just make sure that you hit the subscribe button and you won't miss any. All right, here we go. Let's see. These were pieces of cardboard. And we're going to add this because I wanted to add a lot of different dimension in this. And of course, when you're following the guide, she does a phenomenal job kind of giving you ideas on where to lay stuff. And you're going to do it your way, right? You want to do it your way. Either follow it exactly or kind of do your own thing. And that's what I do. I love having the inspiration, but not being, I have to follow it exactly. I want to stick this about right here. You notice I put 2 dimensionals on either side right there. All right, and now we have our teapot, and I want the teapot on this side, and I'm going to have it right on the top of the shelf right there. So I want dimensionals along here. Here we go. And now if you want to totally make my day, y'all need to leave me a comment because I love hearing your thoughts and what you were inspired about on this video. All right, here we go. Let's glue this down. And those are on that side. And everything else, we're going to put it right there. Because see how that's kind of dark and empty? I want this right here. And that's going to go there. Okay, now we can safely peel this off and put this on. Here we go. I'll stick this down here. There we go. All right, so now we got to add our little mouse in a teacup. I think he's just adorable. There we go. Let's add him. Do any of you sew? I used to sew clothes for the kids and pajamas. Oh my gosh, I always sewed Christmas pajamas. Did you guys ever have that tradition? And so it was at Christmas time, at Christmas Eve, they got their brand new pajamas, and of course they were all in Christmas colors. So then by the time we were all opening presents in the morning, because they were in their Christmas pajamas, it was just great for a photo op. Not that I remember to take many photos then. That's always kind of sad. You forget about those things. All right, now this is going to go here, and I want this. Where do I want this? Actually, I think it'll look good right up there. I'll put that there. And then I have a strawberry here, and it's going to go right under this teacup, right there. And then we have Wild and Sassy. If anything could sum up my daughter at 1 and 2 years old and 3 years old, she was just fun and sassy. All right, here we go. We're going to put this right here. There, and there is our first little cluster. Aren't you excited? I knew it. All right, let's put down our journaling, and then we are going to work on the second one. You're just going to watch this whole thing come together. And I am recording. That's always a good thing. All right, so let's move on to our second one. This one's kind of fun because it brings in the TV and little Lauren Ashley. Again, we're going to stick the foam tape on the back. It is so fun peeling that off. And we're going to see how I'm getting smarter. I'm doing it over here, and I can actually see what I'm doing. So this is going to go on top of this one. So let's stick this down. And I want this at about the 6, about right here. So we're going to stick it. No, actually. Well, if this were straight, that would help. Okay. I want it about right here. This is where I want it. Actually, we're going to go right here. It really doesn't matter, does it? But that's where I want it, right there. All right, so then here's Lauren Ashley right there. And now we're going to put together these pieces. Let's see. And you know what? We need to stick this guy down because some of this stuff is going to go over, and we'll be touching this shelf over here. So this one's going to go about right here. Make sure we got room. And I want it about right here. It's not too far. About right here, I think. Yeah. All right. Here we go. So now we can safely lay things down over here. And we have this TV, and I'm thinking I want the TV to have a backing. So we're going to do this part right here. And we're going to cut it off. All right. And then I'm a little bit over the edge. I'm going to cut up here. And you can always use these spare pieces. Just have a little bowl set aside with pieces of foam tape. And you will be able to use every single one of them. All right, here we go. Let's stick that right there. Now, does anything go under my TV? The one thing that does is this right here. So I'm going to get some glue on it. All right, so I can lay them both down together. All right, let's do this about right here. And we're going to lay the TV right here. And I want the legs on top of the green, and we're going to stick this right here. We're just going to do it all together. And we know Lauren Ashley is going to go right there. There we go. All right, come together. All right, now we have this flower that is going to go here, and then we have the kitty right there. All right, so let's stick this down. So much is going to be holding this down. I'm not real worried about it having a lot of glue on it. So we're going to stick this right here, and I want to take the leaves and kind of pinch them up. And this one, I should have done it before. Hindsight. Okay, and then even the flowers. And kind of pinch it with your fingers. Look at how it just brings it to life right there, right? All right, so now we're going to stick this because it's like in a pot in front of the TV. All right, and then I have this little strawberry because I wanted to have strawberry. You know how you try to bring the theme together, so we need a little strawberry over here, and that'll go right there. And then we have the kitty cat, and it's just so cute. Now, this foam tape comes on a roll, and you could get it at the Dollar Tree. And I'll show you that in just a second. It looks like this right here. Would you just look at this? And it is so easy peeling these off and using them. And I just keep it right here on my craft table. All right, so here we have the kitty cat. And we need to get Lauren Ashley down. Let's get this sassy little girl down. Isn't this page looking so cute? Okay, gotta go a little bit behind the picture. The flower. She's going right on the edge there. She's straight. Then we're going to put the kitty. Definitely don't want the cat right there, do I? Or do I want it in front? No, I kind of like it right there, actually. Okay. There we go. All right, then we have a little heart. I'm going to stick this on right on top of the photo. Right there. And then we have this right here, which is it is a nothing. It is a piece of foam tape. This is what I need. Hug and a cup. She was like a little hug and a cup. And we're going to stick this right here. All right. All right, there we go. And then we have our title that I'm going to put up here. Now we're going to work on this cluster up here. Now we're going to put the foam backing. Y'all, you need to try this 12 by 12. Find 3 little photos that you want to tell a story about. And you can take a screenshot of this when it's done if you want to use some of my ideas. But she also has, remember, in hers, what I do with it, look how she has it. They literally tell you which items to set out and how to place them on here. So, and it does it step by step. All right, here we go. So this is going to go here. Now in the back, we need our circle. I need to glue this down. Okay. We're going to stick it right here. Okay. That's going to go there. And then in the very background, I'm going to have this circle. And then this circle. See that big brown piece of furniture right there? That is just not pretty at all. So I'm trying to get a cluster going here that'll cover a little bit of that up. And then we have our flowers in the background. So let's get these down. So I know this is going to be glued on this side. And then on this side, I need some dimensionals, right? And I need to stick Lauren Ashley down. So let's do that. Thinking ahead here. We're going to peel this off. Then I'm going to pause the camera real quick, and I will put the title down. And then I'll come back and I'll read you the journaling, and we will say goodbye. But don't go anywhere yet, because we are not done. Okay, let's see. So this goes here. How did I have this now? Right here? Yeah, right there, right up at the top. Not quite. Oh my gosh. Right there. All right, now we need this. As much as I thought I was getting this together. All right, here we go. Let's stick this one down. About right here. Okay, that holds that up. Now we need to stick our flowers down. And there's really no set way to do it. Where's my pink flower? It's probably right here in front of me. Here it is. I knew it. All right, let's stick this down. Because it needs to go up a little bit. And again, let's do our leaves. Oh my goodness, Laura, can you do it ahead of time, please? Please. Okay, let's just bend that a little bit. Put that right there. And look, I'm going to do it ahead of time. Now, you know what you could do is take a gel pen. There was just so much going on already with all the little pieces of artwork here. But you could do a gel pen and do stitching around the leaves here, which would look so pretty. But just bending the paper gives it that little bit of lift when you're putting the page together. All right, so now we're going to put this one kind of coming out to the side. Okay, it will stick down. And then we have this pretty one, which I'm definitely going to do all around the edges. Okay, now a lot of these leaves will be covered up, so I'm not as worried about this one. And I want to put a little bit of dimension behind this actual flower. All right, let's add one more. This is just looking adorable. What do you think? Huh? You're going to get the kit and make this page for yourself, or even think about it. You know what? You could have a totally different kit that has this type here, not necessarily the scallops, but something that you can use to make shelves with, and use this as a jumping off point. Like, okay, I will do that. All right, here we go. We're going to put that right there. And now we're going to put our little strawberry and our big strawberry. That's why I had strawberries on each of these shelves. All right, so this is going to go here because this is all very dark on this side. Okay, that's going to go right there. We're going to peel this off and put this one on. And I want this right on top. I want it going down a little bit, actually. I've decided it doesn't matter if they're on the shelf or not. That is just the landing place. How is that? There, that one's on the shelf. Gosh, I was getting things all complicated. Get that off there. All right, so let's do this little heart. We're going to put it up here, right there. And then we're going to put this little strawberry, because we need our little strawberry. We have it in each one of these. We're going to put this one over here, laying there. And then we have Hooray for the Day. You'll notice on each one of these, I put a little phrase sticker. So that's what we're doing with this. We're going to put this on the bottom because there's all this open flooring right here. And we're going to slide it over just like that. All right. Now, I am going to pause the camera. I'm going to put the title, and then we're going to come back and we're going to add our dots, and I'll read you the journaling. Don't go anywhere. So I added the Oh Sweet Honey. These came in one of the ephemera packs, the letterings, Oh Honey, and then this came in the alpha sheet. And now I'm going to add some of these pretty dots from Stampin' Up. We're just going to add, I want them, where do I want them? What do I want to do with the rest of my life? We're going to add them in clusters of 3. There's really no right or wrong way to do this. You're just having fun with your piece of paper. All right, and let's add this one. Let's add a yellow. And then I want to add some over here. Let's do, this is a pretty color, isn't it? Love that one. One. Then we're going to do more small ones since this is a tiny area. And this is called a Take Your Pick tool from Stampin' Up. If y'all have watched my videos, you know I have gotten tongue-tied on the name of this tool since the day it came out. All right, so let me read you the journaling. Let me set it here just for a second. So if you want to take a screenshot of it to use as a jumping off spot for your own 12 by 12 sheet with 3 different shelves. Also, remember it comes in this guide that comes with the April kit, Hip Kit Club. All right, so now let me lift this up. I'm going to read you the journaling. She was our little Lauren Ashley, about 1 year old, in these photos, and she brought in a whole lot of sassy fun when she came into the world and has touched people's lives ever since then. From the beginning, she has had our hearts, and her smile and happy joy that would bubble out of her would always light up a room. I'm so glad I had these photos tucked away to look back on years later. Now she's grown and married and sharing that beautiful smile with her husband, Chris, who we love. Double the fun, and the both of them are loved so very much. All right, my friends, I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and make my day and say hello in the comments. Until we meet again, God bless and have an incredible day. Bye-bye.